Jason Dachman, editor of the Sports Video Group, here with George Hoover of NEP. George, you guys rolled out a massive set of mobile units, earlier this year. I'm curious, how did SSCBS turn out? What's the evolution been, and what was the thinking behind going IP-centric in the design of that truck?
The rollout was received very well, surprisingly well, considering that we changed virtually every aspect of the technology that CBS was used to using. We did 2 golf shows and then transitioned over to the NFL Thursday night game, and results have been extremely positive. No issues.
And what was the thinking behind going with an IP router there? Was that, obviously golf shows require a massive, sets of ins and outs and that kind of thing. Why did you guys opt to go IP-centric with that truck?
Well, we felt it was important. This is a multi-year deal with CBS, so it has to have some longevity protection. And CBS, of course, is producing Super Bowls and the Masters, so there's some really big events. And we always have, in the past, tapped out our core infrastructure. And as we were looking at building an SDI plant, we realized that we pretty much had it filled up on your basic, first game of the NFL season. And as the season progressed and you led up to the Super Bowl, you were back to, we're out of router inputs, we're out of router outputs. And that's no way to start a long-term rollout of a truck.
Right. So is that the beginning of a process? Do you guys have some new truck plans for later this year or early 2016, and will those go with a similar model?
They'll go with a similar model. We're doing a major rebuild of SS24, literally back down to the walls, which will have a matching IP infrastructure to SSCBS. The 2 trucks will be able to marry together, which will be good for those big events. And then we're building a new mobile unit for WWE that'll come out next spring with an IP infrastructure geared again towards those really big WrestleMania and other large productions that they do.
And so where are we on this road towards IP? Obviously right now you have to respect the SDI workflow still, and there's certain portions that of course are going to remain baseband. Are we going to be in a 100% IP world within a couple of years, and does that even make sense to do something like that?
I don't know if it makes total sense. We're trying to be future ready, right, and allow IP technology to transition in both of those 2 cases. As is in the case of CBS, all of the primary production equipment still inputs and outputs on baseband SDI because the technology is not there. And as we've discussed today extensively, once those standards come together, we hope to ultimately remove that SDI connectivity. But that's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Right. And speaking of future ready, what are you guys' 4K plans coming down the road? Obviously, we've seen some 4K trucks launched, 4K services in Europe, and for some 4K on-demand services in the States, nothing live necessarily. But, how do you guys view that, and what are you guys thinking over the next 6, 12, 18 months?
Well, of course, one of the reasons that IP is attractive is that even though you're not doing a 4K production, you've got all these 4K islands of camera capture and replay servers that need that connectivity, so it gives you flexibility to handle that. Everything we're building is 4K capable. The cameras can run in 4K, the production switchers, so when someone makes a decision to do that, is the phone ringing off the wall today for 4K? Not every day, but there is interest, and the interest is increasing. We expect to see more of that. Probably more event-focused at this point than week-in and week-out event, sports, but it'll get there.
Right. We'll see. It's going to grow. I don't think there's no question.
Yeah, no question at all.
Great. George, thanks very much. Jason Dachman from the Sports Video Group. Appreciate it.
Thank you.